Hello, everybody. Kind of a quick start here. I'm a little late. How's everybody doing? Let me know if you can hear me. Hi. I'm typing in chat. I was a little late. I had to get, gas, if you believe it. And then so I was a little late setting up, and then all of a sudden my OBS like freaked out at me. It said my starting stream video was gone and everything. But late, terrible. You can hear me. What's up, Sandra? Greetings from Germany. That's awesome. That's like one of the coolest things about doing this is just seeing people hang out, from all places. It's very cool. I hope everybody had a great weekend. I had the misfortune of playing Zach, who is in chat right now on Saturday. He kicked my butt. He was doing some Iron Storm against my invasion list. Some of it is still set up over there. Don't worry about that. I'm just pinging Discord. So if you're here now, say hi, Discord, because Discord is about to come in. Here we go. Here we go. Got the Dak Prescott of welcoming people. Okay, what's up, everybody? Hey, Sandra already said hello. Alan Rick, awesome, very cool. Matt, sorry, dude. Zach, yeah, I know. What's up, Nick? It's good to see you. Odd Potato, Ben, Cue Ball. Yeah, there are some cute little bugs on the table. I agree. These dice too are very cool. I like them. They're Baron of Dice. We do have an affiliate link. I don't know if you guys knew that, but I like these are my favorite dice. Even if you're not using our affiliate link, I think these are really cool. They have the round edge, and then they have like a Tyranid head up top. I think they're pretty cool. They're also my wife's favorite too because of the color. Hey Jordan, just popped the list up for review. Yes, in a couple of weeks. Maybe the queue is kind of big, and I feel bad. I'm almost considering doing not every week like a second stream, but every once in a while doing a second army list review show just to kind of try and keep up. Yo, what's up, Pars? Yeah, man, they're super cool. Well, anyways, if this is the first time that you've been to this stream, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You post lists in the Wednesday night Warhammer post part of our page, and I review them. If that's something you're interested in, check it out. If you're a member, you also get pushed a little bit to the front of the line. That's just how things work, It's just a little thank you for your thank you, But I still go through pretty much almost every single list. I think the longest that a list has been posted without it being reviewed is like a month. So the queue is probably around a month if you're not a member. If you are a member, it's normally the next stream or 2 weeks at most. But anyways, welcome to the stream. Thank you everybody for being here. Last week we wrote a meme list together. I don't have any meme list goals or anything. If you guys have a super chat goal that you think would be cool, I'll go ahead and post it up there and we can figure something out. But while we are doing this, let's get started. Lock that real quick. Let's get started on our first list. I'm going to scroll all the way up to the top. And Jaldrin, well, look at this timing. Jaldrin, you're here. You're a member. Thank you so much. And you're also in chat. I will say that if we were to do a meme list this Wednesday, hey guys, we're not going to talk about the second Jordan. Don't worry about that guy. Don't ask about him, man. If we're doing a meme list, this week is not. I'm actually preparing for an RTT on Saturday. I'm definitely not going in there expecting I'm going to win or anything, but I'm probably going to play my tournament list this Wednesday into Zach's tournament list, actually. So if there would be a meme list, it would not be this week or next week, but it would be the following week. So we could do we'll do a super chat goal during that week. I think just to keep it kind of close. Glory to Parasite Chan. Oh my gosh. There is a Parasite. Oh, there's a Parasite? Oh, I do see it. Okay, sick. All right, this is Jaldrin. Thank you for being in here, Jaldrin. I always think it's cool. What's up, McFlurry? Great to see you. He says, new list for you here. An experimental version of a new invasion fleet list I have in mind. Description of how it works below the list as usual. Excellent. Okay, so like Jaldrin said very expertly, we are invasion fleet. It's 2,000 points. Our characters are going to be the Neuro Tyrant, Parasite of Mortrex with perfectly adapted. That's interesting, but you know what? I kind of get, because if you really want to get somebody and make them be a ripper, then you could re-roll your wound roll, I guess, on that. Cool. Winged Hive Tyrant, adapted biology, and a Winged Tyranid Prime. All right, cool. Battle line, we have one Gargoyle squad, just a 10-man, two 20-man Hormigaunt squads, and two 10-man Termagant squads. Interesting. Very cool. We have a Biovore. We have double Lictor, Raveners, then 6 melee warriors, then Excrin, Tyrannifex, and Tyrannifex. So Acid Spray, Tyrannifex on one, and then Rupture Cannon on the other. Let's see what Jaldrin's talking about in his list. Gargoyles and Parasite are in Deep Strike. The enhancement on Parasite is to rapidly get Ripper spawning effect off. I knew it. The Gargoyles Deep Strike in the back with Parasite, or up front if I need a screen. I want my Wi-Fi extender for the double in the Swarm too. Yeah, that's true. That is something cool that the Parasite is also Synapse. That is nice. All the big gaunt blobs are there to regenerate via stratagems, and the Bug Carpet is fun. I do agree. I think the Bug Carpet is fun. I like to keep at least one of the 20-man blobs to force Call the Horde on my opponent when it's drawn. Impactful early game if drawn in round 1 or 2. I've been experimenting with Winged Tyrant of the Foot one, as I tend to forget about his aura and want to try out Paroxysm for more rather. I get more use out of Paroxysm, but the Winged Tyrant is a little bit more difficult to hide. Yeah, curious on your thoughts. The one Acid Effects is for mid-board Overwatch threats, so I always have the option to do very nasty Overwatch. He's magnetized though. Okay, cool. Rupture Cannon as well. Weak point of this particular list for me would be the Warriors with melee bioweapons with the attached prime. At 250 points, if you want to remove those, they're more there as a dangerous midfield missile to throw at my opponent. Okay, cool. McFlurry says, so I have 5 points left over my list, so I was thinking I should swap my Hive Tyrant for Swarmlord because it looks cooler. Well, McFlurry, sometimes they do be looking cooler. I would, it depends on what the rest of your list is. If the rest of your list is supported better by Swarmlord than a Hive Tyrant, then yes. But oftentimes I will not have my list be at 2,000 points. I think the list that I'm running right now and the list that I've ran for quite some time is 1990. But it's just because I feel like that collection of units is the best that I can do. And I'm not so much concerned about getting directly on 2,000 points. The Hive Sultan. Hell yeah. Oh, man. What a guy. What a guy. All right. So, Jaldrin, I agree. I'm not super excited about the Warriors here. Things I do like, there are a lot of things that I do like. I'm okay on the 20-man Hormigaunt blobs. I personally would probably just use one. I understand people's argument for the Call the Horde, like, I don't know, get you gotcha on your opponent. However, if I'm an opponent and I draw Call the Horde and I'm playing against somebody that has 20, I'm probably just going to be like, okay, either I'm going to redraw it depending on what point of the game I'm in, or I'm just expecting an extra CP. So I'm not, in my opinion, that is not affecting it too much. I think you run them just because they're kind of good and they're hard to kill, because they generally are hard to kill. We still do need a melee punch of some kind. I would think I would probably just do a clean swap from the melee Tyranid warriors to the Gene Stealers. And I think Gene Stealers are 230 with the Broodlord. And so what you could do, I know perfectly adapted is pretty cute on the Parasite. It is. But if you just got rid of the Tyranid Prime and you got rid of the Tyranid Warriors, that's 215. And then you got rid of perfectly adapted, and then that's Gene Stealers right there. So I would probably swap out the Tyranid Warriors with Gene Stealers. Are you the person that really did not like Gene Stealers? There's somebody in here later on in the stream that was like, Gene Stealers are ugly. And hey, dude, fair enough. If you think Gene Stealers are ugly, that's what they are, So that's what I'm gonna do. I would recommend dropping the Tyranid Warriors and dropping this guy. And we're gonna do Brood Lord, which is 80 points. And then we are also gonna have to drop this as well, just to make it a clean 2K. And then Gene Stealers, I will do my best to make them alphabetical, just because that's the way I like to roll. Gene Stealer Stakers, Stealers times 10. Wow, my hands need to wake up. I'm used to my computer at work is completely different from this computer, so sometimes it's yeah. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think the new Gene Stealer models are cool as well. These are mine. I think they're super sick. My buddy Chase painted them for me. I think they're super cool. But I will agree with you guys. I do not like the Broodlord. So I got a proxy on Etsy. I forget where I got it from. But I also had to shape the base a little bit. But then this is my Broodlord. I think this Broodlord is super cool. And he's got the tentacles to lead all of my squid-like Gene Stealers. But I like Gene Stealers. I do. But I also understand that people don't like the aesthetic too. So that's whatever. Let's see. Okay. So now we need to decide what we're doing with all of this. So there's two things. Thanks, Cyan. I'm sure I think it's Cthulhu Lord on Etsy. You can go ahead and just find it. It's out there and then get it. I think it's really cool. I've used it in every single tournament. I always bring an actual Broodlord too, especially if it's a scene that I'm not really familiar with. I bring an actual Broodlord there as well, just in case somebody makes a stink about me using a proxy and then I swap it out. That hasn't happened to me yet, but I'm prepared for that, Okay, so in my opinion, I don't think our points are being used extremely well with the 260 man termagants. I would probably want, how many lictors? He has 2 lictors. That's pretty good. That's not bad. I do like the Raveners. I think they are cool. They do really well with action stuff. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think I like the idea of the mid board, but I think you just run double rupture cannon. My core of a lot of my list is double exocrine, double rupture effects, because they're just so good right now. They're just very, very good. But so I would recommend running the rupture cannon over the acid spray. I do agree that acid spray is good, but if you look at the rest of Tyranid army, the exocrines, the Gene Stealers, even the Raveners, all of that stuff is really good at just killing Space Marine in just models that are going to be really you're going to want to use the acid spray into those models, and everything in Tyranids are really good into units that don't want to see a Tyrant effects acid spray. The things that Tyranids have struggled with are things that the rupture cannon are going to be really good activating into. So run more rupture cannons. That's kind of where I'm sitting. But anyways, that is still up to you to decide. But I would probably recommend double rupture cannon. Now we're going to think about what we're doing with the rest of this list. I'm fine. I think the 40 Hormagaunts is definitely an interesting take. But I don't know. I feel like if we cut all of this out, how many? That's 190 points. So we could theoretically. Did he have a caveat of what he wanted to buy or something. No. So we could theoretically put in another shooting platform. We could put in another, like, we got all of, if we cut all of this, and that is a lot to cut. I do understand. But like if we put another exocrine in, you know, that's good too. Oh, did I? That's 250 points. Yeah, 250. Never mind. We have so much space. So what we could do is we could put an exocrine in, and then we would still have 115 points left over. Jeez. Yeah. Yep. 150. I don't know. I'm still waking up from work. I don't know. I guess. Okay. So I agree with you. Let's keep this, but we got 250 points to play with. I really do like the core of your list. And I'm interested, Jaldrin, since you're here. I'm not going to press G or E. Then, but he's right. I am gonna press G or E. Jaldrin, how have the 20-man Hormagaunts been? Quick chat. Everybody look to the right. Nobody look at what's going on. Nobody look. Oh man, okay. Geez, another squad of gargoyles popped up. How could that have happened? Who would have thought that would have happened? So I think that's 165 points left over. Yeah, I like 2 squads of gargoyles. I'm not gonna lie. One to do exactly what you were saying, which I really liked how you detailed. I agree. One being able to do that, and then the other one to just be able to be on the field, because you are losing a little bit of chaff by cutting that. And then we have 165 points left over. Do we still have? No, we're there. Lethal's in belt because of the sheer number. Yeah, I agree. A distraction card effects could be cool. That would be interesting. 165 points though. I am kind of leaning towards ooh. If we did like, I'm kind of interested in running like a 6-man Ravener squad, you know? That would be kind of sick. I think like the easy answer is you put in an exocrine and then you kind of fill the space. Like you can give back the enhancement to the parasite, or you can distraction Maleceptor. Yeah, we're 5 points off from a distraction Maleceptor. That's actually exactly what I would want, is a distraction Maleceptor. One thing you could do also is you could change these Raveners, but I really do like Raveners. You could change those Raveners to a Von Ryan Leaper squad, which is pretty cool. I run a 3-man Von Ryan Leaper squad, and then you could put a Maleceptor in as that. Let's see, if we did 135, that means you would have 30 points left over. That doesn't really get you anything with 35 points. Because we have, I think if Maleceptor actually does kind of fit in there. So I would miss the Raveners, but being able to just have a Maleceptor and still have a bunch of action monkeys, and I'm sure I would be very surprised at this point if like not every single person in here owns like at least a 3-man squad of Von Ryans. They're just everywhere, you know, out in the wild. They're just everybody got 1 or 2 Leviathan boxes, and then they're there. So that's kind of what I would do. I like this core. Yeah, I love the monsters too, McFlurry. I'm just not super excited about. I guess the Maleceptor is kind of your distraction card effects. You could do a second. You could do a third exocrine. I think the 20-man Hormagaunts and the Parasite are taking just enough points off where it's tough to fit all that stuff. But I still think this is a pretty cool list. I do really like the Parasite of Mortrex as kind of a utility piece unit. I think it's pretty sweet. I really like the scoring of double gargoyles. I think the Hormagaunts could be incredibly annoying, especially against like a early turn strike or whatever. What's up, Zage? It's so good to see you. Welcome to the chat. And then you have double Lictor, and you have Von Ryans here for a bunch of scoring. And then your main killing units, the double Tyrant effects, double Exocrine, Gene Stealer, and then the Maleceptor. I think this list trades really well. You know, you can start, of course, with screening with Von Ryans. They can kind of take up a couple of positions, as well as the Lictors. And then do exactly what you said with the Parasite. And then what I would do is just like wait to throw these Hormagaunts out for a little bit. Wait till like turn 1 or turn 2, or turn 2 probably, and then really have them just run out and counterattack something. And not even to plan on killing whatever they're counterattacking, but just to understand that your opponent is probably not going to be able to kill 20 Hormagaunts all at once, and then they're going to be really annoying because then there's 40 OC on an objective or something with Hormagaunts. So I think that's pretty sweet. And if you like rolling a lot of dice, well, you're certainly going to be doing that with 20 Hormagaunts. So I think this is neat. You guys always get me, you know, I kind of want to run like a swarm list. I'm going to need to buy another box of Hormagaunts just so I can run a 20-man of the new sculpt, because I really like the new sculpt. I'm not a huge fan of the old sculpt, but I have like 60 of the old sculpt. But anyways, Jaldrin, first off, thanks for being a member, dude. And thanks for hanging in chat. I hope all of that was helpful, or I think you had a pretty good core already. 60 attacks can crit on 5s and they regenerate. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. It's pretty metal. Very cool. Yeah, because if you don't have like a whole bunch of rolling with my hormies. Hell yeah, dude. Awesome. I think this is a good list. The only thing that's different from my list is I'm running triple Exocrine just because I just think Exocrines are very, very good. But you're going a different route, and the 20 Hormagaunts could be almost as annoying as a third Exocrine. So seems pretty sweet. Awesome. Thanks again, Jaldrin. Okay, we have JD Walker. He's a member. Thank you so much for being a member. You know, that's super cool. Appreciate the support. He says, "Hi, Jordan, and thank you for the great content." Hey, thank you for the great viewing. I'm new to Warhammer. This is my first attempt at building a Tyranid list. I like the idea of a monster-heavy list, so I chose the Crusher Stampede. Very nice. I built this list around the Swarmlord and Norns. Please let me know what your thoughts are. This list was inspired by Kenneth Oniver's first place finish at Dice Hammer Open 40K GT the 8th. Cool. Nice. Oh, what's up, Johnny? Dude, you're here. It's so interesting how the names are different in chat than how they are when they post on YouTube. I don't know why. Let's take a look. Characters, the Swarmlord. Now, in Crusher Stampede, I'm going to be honest with you. I think the correct choice for your characters is the Swarmlord. No notes. You just put the Swarmlord right there, and he just kind of does good stuff. Also, look at this. All right. Johnny Walker, he's not messing around. He's got the Swarmlord, and he's like, I don't need no battle line. We're just going to go straight to other data sheets. And here we are. That is incredible, man. We've got a Biovore. We've got Neurolictor, Exocrine, Haruspex, triple Haruspex. Sheesh. Triple Haruspex, triple Norn, Tyrant effects. Okay. Wow. What a list. Okay. Oh yeah, and bring it down. Okay, quite a bit. So, with this list, we are just rumbling up the table. Oh my is right, Ben. This is quite something. What I would think, Harspex needs more love. Yeah, I was about to cut every single Harspex. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to cut every single Harspex. Absolute Norn Hub. Yeah, we got to change this. What was your name? What was the name of your list? Oh, you didn't name it. What's up, Pars? I'm glad you're here too. Here's the list name. Everybody. There you go. Yeah, you just rush mid. You just push everything. Johnny, how have the Harspexes been? Because I'm curious about them. The thing that I do like that they hit on twos. They hit on twos with like all of their gazillion attacks. So you get your little. I'm sorry about that noise, but you get those. is 14 attacks with like his mouth thing, and then 4 attacks with his big meaty claws, hitting on twos. That's pretty good. I will say, I do think you need like 1 or 2 more units that do this, the Neurolictor. Just because you're going to want to, how do I say this? You're going to want to score points, you know? And I do think there is a case where, like, if you put a bunch of monsters into the middle of the board, you know, what is your opponent going to do? And sometimes the answer is lose, and sometimes the answer is I kill all your monsters and then they score more points than you. Oh, Ben, my Haruspex has yoinked Trajan Valoris multiple times. United Wargamer, I'm doing excellent. I hope everyone else in chat is doing excellent as well. Glad you're here. But anyways, all that to say, what I want is probably at least 1 more Tyrannifex. And then I want like 2 more pieces, or at least 2 of these pieces. So again, who is this, Johnny Walker? Play this list a whole bunch. I'm going to kind of sculpt it to what I would do. I'm still going to keep the core of it. I think we're going to just trim a couple of things. I think we trim 1 Norn. I think double Norn is probably good enough. I think we trim 1 Norn, and I think we trim 1 Haruspex. And the things that I'm looking for is I would like 1 more Tyrannifex. That may or may not work. And then one Maliceptor would be sweet. And then seeing if we can fit 1 more scoring piece in. So 260 plus 125, 260 plus 125. That is, that's going to be 385 points. If you're running double Norn, it can still be Norn Hub. I don't know what you guys are talking about. Come on now. So cutting that Norn, cutting the Haruspex. And now we're at a crossroads where we have 385 points. And I do agree. I think we just drop this down to a regular Lictor. Because we really just want the Lictor for the lone op. We're not like starving for, like the +1 to wound is not really something that you're going to care about in Crusher Stampede. Okay, so in terms of priority, I think a second Tyrannifex is probably priority 1. This is where I'm going to get my calculator out. Or no, a second Lictor is going to be the first priority. So if we're at 415 minus 60, what the heck did my calculator do? Okay, so that's going to be 355 points. Oh no. 355 points, and we have a second Lictor. At this point, with 2 Lictors, I'm feeling a little bit better about scoring secondaries. Me personally, I probably would run a little bit more. My Crusher Stampede list still has double Gargoyles, but we'll see. But I think with this kind of list, you really just want as much big stuff as possible, and you're really just trying to damage check your opponent out of the game, meaning you're just trying to be a bully and really not let them do anything. So unfortunately, adding another Tyrannifex leaves us at 165, which is very important because it is not 170. Now, here's my thing, and here's a discussion. I know I was very excited about running the Swarmlord at the beginning. However, if you think about it, there is a strong argument. Number 1 Gargoyle Glazer. Oh God. There's a really strong argument for running a walking Hive Tyrant, and the reason is both Exocrines would get advance and shoot, both Tyrannifexes probably would want advance and shoot as well. And if we're trying to put in a Maliceptor, the Maliceptor is 100% going to want advance and shoot. I really like Maliceptors alongside Norns because the -1 to hit. So in this case, I do think we are going to kind of side grade the Swarmlord to a Hive Tyrant. Again, obviously, run your list first, and see where that lied. Triple Haruspex, triple Norn is pretty sick. I'm not going to lie, but I'm just feeling a little bit more comfortable with the Walkrent. Drop the Haruspexes. Give me 1 second. Let me do this change, and then we'll take a look at what you're saying. The way I'm thinking, advance and shoot is really, really strong. Okay, he said, could you drop the Haruspexes, keep the Norns, and add another Lictor and Tyrannifex? Keep the Norns and add another Lictor and Tyrannifex. Maybe. It's 250 points. Oh, so we would be... So if we do 250 points more, I'm not sure when you're... I kind of like the double Haruspex, though. I think it might be kind of good. They're very efficient. They're going to trade. Like, if they go out, your opponent is going to have to send something out to deal with them. And then literally the rest of your army just jumps on whatever is sent out there. It seems pretty cool, but we can take a look at that. So 250 points. Oh, I see what you're saying. You could drop the double Haruspex, and then you could do a third Tyrannifex, and then a third Lictor. Yeah, you could do that. You could do that. I think this is more fun. Oh, but you also wanted to keep the third Norn. I don't know. I just feel like if you just threw everything into the center, double Norn, double Haruspex, Maliceptor, double Tyrannifex, and Exocrines and Hive Tyrant and stuff, that's really tough to chew through. But of course, play through it, see what's happening with it. But this is kind of where I'm headed. I think advance and shoot is actually very, very useful for our army. And if you compare like some of our data sheets to Space Marine data sheets, I know we probably shouldn't do that because we'll just be sad sometimes. But like their tanks move really fast. Our tanks don't really move that fast. Like Tyrannifexes, they move 9, but it's like, but then with an advance, that you're cooking a little bit. And then you can swing the Rupture Cannon. As long as you roll at least a 2, then you're still moving 9 and you can pivot. You can do some Tokyo drifts and stuff. But Johnny Walker, very cool. Please, even right now, please let us know how this Crusher Stampede list has been. I wanted to run one until I saw the terrain set up for the RTT I'm going to. And it's just, there's open lines of sight everywhere. And it's tough. McFlurry, what you got going on? You got... Yeah, I think melee Hive Tyrant would be great. I like it. Bone Sword, Lash Whip, and then just the talents. I think that's good. I have fully gone to game preference. I think that is really when you decide between the Venom Cannon or the heavy melee. Also the terrain setup. If you know the terrain setup that you're going to be on ahead of time, if there's a lot of really neat staging areas for your Hive Tyrant to be aggressive and kind of run out and then punch people, then full melee, cool. But if you're going to be really cagey and holding back with the Hive Tyrant and not really wanting to be in the open, then you're probably going to want to go with the Venom Cannon. And I think for this weekend, I'm going Venom Cannon. McFlurry asks, Jordan, real quick, can you do an overview of differences between Hive Tyrant and Swarmlord? I want to know which I should do and what others should do. So Hive Tyrant and Swarmlord, they both are going to give you CP. And if you think about it, the Hive Tyrant CP is going to be there each turn. So you can't really bank it, but you can use it pretty aggressively. You can use it aggressively through like re-rolling advances. If you are pretty sure that you're not going to be needing it all, you can use it on early stratagems, etc. The Swarmlord, you are always going to have it. The only difference in the CP management that the Swarmlord has, of course, is going to be the Vect Aura, which I think is pretty good. However, it's tough. You got to find this balance of running your Swarmlord up and also being cagey with it because it is such an integral part to your army. I personally think the Walking Hive Tyrant is a better support piece because of the Lethals aura and because of the Assault aura. I think both of those reasons really, really pump the Hive Tyrant to, in my opinion, being one of the best characters in 40k right now. That's a large claim. But because of those reasons, I'm often taking the Walking Hive Tyrant over Swarmlord. Now, in Crusher Stampede, like we talked about, I think there's a strong consideration. If you're going a little bit more melee, there's a strong consideration for Swarmlord. In my opinion, the fact that we are working on Rupture Cannons and even the shooting from Norn Emissaries, Maleceptors, and Exocrines, I would think that having Advance and Shoot and giving the, on average 3 extra inches to our range and our movement to get around corners and stuff, that the Walking Hive Tyrant is going to be better in this regard. Because really, if you think about it, the free strat is almost as good as an extra CP. And in some cases, it would be even better, because if you're able to reliably use it on your turn as well as your opponent's turn, that's 2 extra CP per battle round, and the Swarmlord only gives you 1 extra CP. And then, in the case of like throwing away or ditching secondaries, you're going to get an additional CP. But if you have Swarmlord, you're not going to get that additional CP. But don't always count on discarding secondaries, because I really actually prefer scoring my secondaries as opposed to throwing them away. Ben says, if you only had one Walking Tyrant, shooty or stabby, I would magnetize. But if I only had one Walking Tyrant, it would probably be shooty. I would probably do Bone Sword, Lash Whip, and then the Venom Cannon. I'm not doing Crusher Stampede, but I'm doing a pretty monster heavy invasion fleet. Look at the data sheet, and the Swarmer gets extra CP and Hive Tyrant's free BCP. Yep. So it's kind of like they both give extra CP during your turn, if that makes sense, but just in different ways. Anyways, Johnny Walker, I hope, play this list or play your version first, of course, and then see if you agree with the things that I'm saying. Test out Swarmlord and see if you are missing the Advance and Charge, or the Advance and Shoot, rather. But if you're not, slam them on the table, I just wanted to make room for the Maleceptor, and I also think the Assault aura really does work. Excellent. Ben, you're here. Ben says, okay, redo. Deleted previous post. If I make it next Monday, please help me scale my 2K list you made down to 1K. I want to play my bugs as soon as I can. Excellent. So basically, I was about to say, basically just cut it in half. But no, we can pick up the core of the list. And he says at the bottom, also, I've got the ones with stars painted already, so preference for keeping them as possible. Sweet. And while I'd like to avoid having to get anything else not on 2K list, a stray unit or 2 probably won't hurt. Okay, sweet. Nice. So this is 1,000 points. So I'm probably just going to build ground up. And this is probably the point where I probably should have had like Army Recruiter or New Recruit or whatever it is up. But I'm sorry. One of these days, I will have time to really sit down and rework some things so that I have Army Recruit. That would be amazing. This is Ben is he. And so the core of your list is going to be Hive Tyrant and Neuro Tyrant, and then Parasite, of course. Because I know you. Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant, and Parasite. So we are starting with that. I'm just going to make the Hive Tyrant that, and then I'm going to also immediately throw Adaptive Biology on the Hive Tyrant. Battle line, we're sticking with 2 Hormagaunts. Oh, this is Synaptic Nexus. Dang it. All right. I went Invasion. I just assumed everyone was playing Invasion. I'm sorry, folks. Incursion, Synaptic Nexus. I actually really like Synaptic Nexus. Then is he. There you go. Boom. All right. Characters, we are doing Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant, Parasite of Mortrex, and then double Hormagaunts. I'm just seeing how much space is left after we put in what I would think is a core. So 600 points. The list is called YouTube Guy. That's funny. Okay. Zoanthropes. Okay, so So we want to keep Neurolictor and Biovore. Yeah, of course. Okay, so Biovore, Neurolictor, and that's 690. Oh, and you have a Maliceptor painted as well. Okay. That's 860. Double Maliceptor. Yeah, double Maliceptor gets it at 1030. That's too much. Maybe we drop Hormagaunts? No, I think we do one. I think we do drop Hormagaunts. That's 200. Oh, I think this actually wraps up pretty easy. It's going to be a little bit awkward, but it's kind of saving you time and kind of directing you for, I guess, paint priority. So what I would do if we're really just wanting to get to 1K and kind of streamline what I think would be a good core is Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant, Parasite, of course, and then just one squad of Hormagaunts. Then we have Biovorm, and we have Neurolictor, Biovore, Neurolictor, Maliceptor, Neurolictor, and then Zoans. I think that's fine. I think that's pretty good. I think that's a pretty good start, and you can shift some other pieces as you paint around. 1,000 points is tough to build. I think another thing that would be good is like double Tyrant effects, but then you're getting to the point where you don't have any scoring units at all, and then that can be kind of hard. But I think this is the direction. Do you need all the characters at 1K? No, you absolutely do not. Something that you could do is you could probably drop, I hate to say it, you could drop Parasite. Maybe you don't need the Hive Tyrant. Yeah, full 6 Zoanthropes, yes. So if you dropped Hive Tyrant, that's quite a bit of points. You do lose out on an advance, but that's, we did, Okay, so if you did drop the Hive Tyrant, which that would be interesting. I'm not sure how much I would love it. You are missing out on Advance and Shoot, which is, you probably do need that. But you could do a second Maliceptor and then a second squad of Hormagaunts. So that's another option. That's another direction that you could take. Could be pretty interesting. But either of those ways, I would wait. The Norn is going to, if you're really wanting to play 1,000 points, the Norn could be cool. However, he takes so much points that it might be just tough to have him in there until you get to like 1.5K, if that makes sense. But Ben, thank you again for all of your support, man, and for the concreting of Parasite being a staple. I was just curious if you think Tyrant is more important, I'll do that. Yeah, I think Hive Tyrant is pretty strong. I think Hive Tyrant is pretty strong. Anyways, let me catch up with chat. McFlurry says if I have 890 points of monsters in a Nerd Titan Hive Tyrant. McFlurry, I think oftentimes Crusher Stampede also leans toward a specific playstyle as well. My Invasion Fleet list has a Maliceptor, 3 Exocrines, and double Tyrant effects. That's 380, 395. That's a lot of points, you know? So I just didn't want to do the math there. I'm sorry. That's a lot of points as well, but I'm firmly in Invasion Fleet. So it also kind of depends on your playstyle and also depends on the supporting pieces around the monsters, as opposed to, I'm playing a lot of monsters, so immediately Crusher Stampede. So kind of think about what you're playing. I would probably lean more towards Invasion Fleet first, see where that is. There's some really powerful stratagems in there, and then see if you're interested in Crusher Stampede. Absolutely, Ben. If you are enjoying the stream, consider 3 things. Consider liking. Consider subscribing if you haven't. Why haven't you subscribed? Consider being a member. That would be awesome. If you're being a member, or donating memberships so that other people can maybe get a little bit of a push in our queue. Also, super chats are super cool as well. But anyways, it's even cooler that you're just chilling here with all of us. But thank you. Elemento 2009. And he is a member. Thank you so much for your support. Super cool. He says, hey, after seeing your latest NID rankings and hearing you make some claims about the Harridan, chat. Did we do it? I thought I might try making a working army around her. Wow. Everyone say hey to my Harridan. I've tried one game with it that I did win, though I found my secondary was a bit lacking. So I've squeezed in a second lictor since then. My reasoning for having a little bit of a horde activity is that it's probably my best shot of resilient wide coverage front line that can hold mid while the old girl cleans shop. Yes. Consider maybe swapping the Steelers for Neuro with zones, but I worry that'll leave me without Cyan Medic in Champions Club. Thank you so much. Incredible. Fantastic. Really appreciate the support, man. The Harridan is going to be a little limited if there's enough anti-tank to make me want to stay in range of 5-0 Feel No Pain, though. Still, she does have good range and an excellent size and height for the line of sight. Thank you again, Cyan Manic. You're a legend, dude. Don't really have any requirements. Obviously, the Harridan has to say. Yeah, that would be hilarious if I got chat hyped up on the Harridan and I was like, okay, we're going to cut the Harridan. I want to keep the 20 gargoyles to make use of her transport capacity too. Yep. May as well get my points worth. I agree. Also want to stay in Invasion Fleet for list feng shui reasons. I think that's right, but I think it's probably the best attachment for her. Anyways, Crusher should be fun too. Pop a Frenzy Mentalison, you're hitting on twos. Yep, even if the opponent ignores you. Not too much. Whoa, Chance, thank you, dude. You'll have to pry my Norn Assimilator from my cold dead hands. Chance, I would never even consider it, man. I would not consider it. You could keep it, even if you're dead. You can keep it. Because I don't want it. No, thank you for the super chat. The Norn Assimilator is pretty cool. Let's take a look at this Harridan list, folks. Going down, Invasion Fleet, and I do agree that Invasion Fleet is probably the best option for the Harridan because of the 5-up Feel No Pain strat. That's literally it. I mean, I guess sustains or lethals is very good as well. We have the Brewlord. We have the Tervagon. We have 40 Termagants. Woo! 60 Termagants. 20 Gargoyles. Okay, I agree. Who is this? Elemento, I agree with 20 Gargoyles. However, I think you should do this. 10 Gargoyles. 10 Gargoyles. For sure. No Norn hate. I think the Norns are cool. I think they're cool. And this is because you can jump out of the Harridan. That's pretty good. You fly the Harridan out. If they kill the Harridan, that's really sad, and your game is probably not super good at that point. But anyways, then they also have to deal with like 20 or 2 different squads of a bunch of OC that can just kind of mess with them. Or if it survives, then the Gargoyles can fly out of the Harridan and steal like their home objective as well as another objective all at once. You can split up both of them and just really do terrible things to their primary. Gene Stealers. Lictor, Pyrivore, Venomthropes, Double Exocrine, Harridan. Okay. Let me think. So I think my issue with this is because we're trying to support 2 different ideas, and I get where your logic is with like covering the board with Termagants. But here's the thing. If you have the Harridan, right, they're going to want to point their anti-tank at the Harridan. Okay, so all of their anti-tank weapons pointed at the Harridan, right? And then all of their anti-infantry weapons are going to be pointed at the Termagants. This might be a weird way of thinking of it, but if you have these like multiple big targets that are very different, that means your opponent is going to be able to use all of their anti-infantry stuff on the Termagants, and then use all of their anti-tank weapons on the Harridans. Because like double Tyrant effects, that can be spooky, but if I was an opponent, I would not really care about them. I also think Gene Stealers are pretty good. I also think that you really kind of want Zoanthropes in this, just to maybe give an invul. I fell out of love with that idea as soon as I started saying it. All right. Let's take a look at what we're doing. This is tough. Let's see what did he say? Resilient, wide coverage front line that can hold mid while the old girl cleans shop. Yep, considered maybe swapping the Steelers for a Neuro with Zoans. Oh, the Neuro Tyrant isn't in here? Oh, how did I miss that? Here's the thing. 1,000%. 1,000% if you're running the Harridan, you have got to have the Neuro Tyrant. Because in Invasion Fleet, you want to be able to string out the Neuroloid, attach it to the Harridan, and then have the Harridan go party. Because you want to be able to have and activate the 5-up Feel No Pain strat from anywhere on the board. The Harridan is going to move way faster than the rest of your army, unless you're being incredibly cagey with it. In that case, like, I don't feel like the Harridan is using its full potential. Sorry, you're getting my Mountain Dew pouring ASMR portion of the stream. So I think we are going to remake this list a little bit. I do like the swarm idea. I think it is going in a very interesting direction. However, I'm worried that we're covering two different bases. We're kind of supporting two different big things. So in my opinion, I think we're going to lean away from the swarm portion of this and then see what we can build with. The rest of the core is very good. It is Mountain Dew Zero. And my wife and I, we have a soda stream. So that's why it's in a strange bottle. But it's we make our own soda. It's pretty cool. It's fun. Anyways, all right, locking in because we're taking a long this late. Ben put it perfectly. This list ain't big enough for two memes. So we are going to go away from the swarm list. I think it is a cool, interesting idea. I just want to see if we're going to be able to support the Harridan better by freeing up some points and not having to dedicate so many support pieces to the swarm list as well. So 240 points from there. We are probably also cutting the Venom Thrope, so that's 310 points. Then we are also cutting, and this makes me sad, but the Tervagon we're definitely going to cut. I think the Tervagon is very cool, but it's just not something that we're rolling with right now, you know? So things that are going to support the Harridan. Things that are going to support the Harridan are things that take up the same like damage slot as the Harridan. If we can push in the middle with a whole bunch of stuff that our opponent is going to want to kill, but they're going to have a hard time with, then it's kind of like a catch-22. Like either you're going to kill the Harridan or you're not going to kill these other pieces out there. So you want to try and trap your opponent in a place where they're not able to kill everything all at once. Ben Par's second Harridan is the best support for the first Harridan. You stopped me, dude. Yes. Okay. All right. Hey, there's your list. Second Harridan, dude. Okay. But no, you're going to want to do the Neuro Tyrant for sure. That's going to bring us down to 405. It's really funny. I felt like I was locked in on something. And then chat, I just hear second Harridan. Okay, because Neuro Tyrant, you're going to want to string out the Synapse to the Harridan. Send it. Package it. We're done. I do like the Gene Stealers. Are we wanting to have a Hive Tyrant? I don't know. That's a good question. So, the second Harridan just hit the meme list. Oh no. Okay. We could do. See, what I'm leaning towards is like a Maliceptor for some extra, like mid-table support. If they want to try and melee the Harridan, -1. Oh, stop. Stop with the second Harridan memes, folks. You cannot. It's That's funny though. We could do double Tyrant effects is 380 points, and that means we would have 25 points left over. And then we could take a look at like the Pyrovores. Oh. I think we also want some like onboard chaff as well. Gene stealers are kind of interesting. How about a Hierophant? Oh, that would be good. I think I like a Maliceptor. I think a Maliceptor paired with the Harridan is pretty annoying. Maliceptor, 170 points. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Pars, nobody's going to argue with you. You are not wrong. 4 or 5, -170. I almost tried to do that math in my head. 4 or 5, -170 equals 235. Well, 235 is a Hive Tyrant. Could do that with 235 points. I think ground chaff to kind of block off this would be good. Better chance of him playing 6 Norns. Hey, I do like Norns. I do like Norns, folks. I feel like you've gotten the wrong idea. You're obligated to take, yeah, you have to take one character, unfortunately. We could do something like, it's funny because I still feel like we need some like fire support, which is kind of crazy thinking about it when we have a Harridan. Drop 1 Exo for Wing Tyranid Prime. I think we want shooting and then support, like another scoring unit. Maybe the Maliceptor isn't the move. No, I feel like the Maliceptor and Gene Stealer's going up the mid. I do like Exocrines. I'm going to throw a second Exocrine in there. Because if we're able to, just allow for the Harridan to hit as hard as possible, I think that's the move. Oh, talking about my next meme list. Oh, ain't no way we're making Jordan have. Oh, I'm so lost. Okay, 100 points, and then Pyrovores are good. I think something that could be good as well is this is the package that I like. Just to make sure you have board control, VRLs ×3. That's going to be 70 points. Because the last 100 points for Tyranids is kind of funky, honestly. VRLs are going to be 70 points, and then I'm just going to put Alien Cunning on the Neurotyrant, and that would be 100 points. So very interesting. Triple, let's zoom out. We've got Broodlord, Neurotyrant, 20 Gargoyles, but we're going to split them up. Biovore, naturally. Thank you. I didn't see that, but hats off to you. 10 Gene Stealers, Lictor, Von Ryans for 70 points, Maliceptor, Pyrovore. Having the Pyrovore come in and then deny cover off of the Harridan seems like a good idea. Triple Exocrine, and then the Harridan. Cool. Try it out. I don't know. I'm not sure how I would build the Harridan list right now. I would have to I'd have to take a look at it. Very cool. Moving right along. This is the last member list, I think. Or do we have, yes, and then we have 1, 2, 3 more lists. Okay, so we have 4 more lists, including 1 member. Yeah, moving right along. Viewer 41 says, if you're playing Invasion Fleet, you need more Synapse units. Possibly look at upgrading both Lictors to Neurolictors. Yeah, you could. I do see what you're saying. However, you do have the Maleceptor, which is going to kind of be in position. And then you have the Neurotyrant, which is also going to give its Synapse buff and then give off 2 Neuraloids, and then the Broodlord. I do understand what you're coming from with like Synapse. However, if you're running the Harridan, you're kind of throwing a lot of like conventional list building thoughts out the window just to begin with. So you kind of just have to support the Harridan as much as possible. And like triple exocrines being able to give reroll ones to hit no matter where they are on the field feels good. The Maleceptor to distract, and then the Gene Stealers to counterattack are pretty cool. There are times little babies are pretty adorable. I agree. All right. Katherine Dalzell. Hello, Jordan. I played around 10 games with this list and I feel there is something missing. The Screamer Killer has been reliably useless. Yikes. I need more punch and possibly more action monkeys. Thinking in terms of extra Gene Stealers, maybe another Lictor. I would like to know what you think about it. Cool. Let's take a look. Broodlord, Hive Tyrant, Neurotyrant. Very cool. Synaptic Linchpin. We're going to come back to it, but it's probably going to get cut pretty quickly just because the Neurotyrant gives the Neuraloids out already. And then the 9-inch Synapse, I haven't found too useful. I could be wrong though. Double Gargoyles, Biovore, Exocrine, Gene Stealers, Lictor, Maleceptor, Norn Emissary, folks. What's up, Lil May Rose? Screamer Killer, Zoanthropes. Okay. Very cool. This is not bad. It's not a bad list at all. I like Gene Stealers, of course. I've said that multiple times. I like double exocrine. The triple exocrine is normally what I go for, but double exocrine is good as well. A pretty easy swap would be a Screamer Killer for another exocrine, and then go from there. Also, I know doing membership is the best way to get a list read, but I'm wondering, Lil May Rose, I reviewed your list either like last week or 2 weeks ago. Pretty sure. I think it was just one stream that you weren't here for. I think you missed it, but I definitely did review your list. So I apologize for the inconvenience, but I think, I'm not sure it was next week, but I think it was 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I think you just missed it. And I was actually looking for you in chat a bunch during that day. So I'm sorry that you did miss it, but yeah, go look back. Okay, cool. No worries. Yeah. I understand. Okay. No worries. I would be checking too. If its weapon skill was 2+, Screamer Killer would be a good unit. I think the Screamer Killer needs to have innate advance and charge. I think that would make a Screamer Killer good. Chance, is your YouTube name Invader Zim? I think I did review your list 1 week or 2 weeks. Here's what I would do, and I'm interested to see how the Zoanthropes have been for you. In Invasion Fleet, I kind of like double Rupture Cannon, and I hate just like steering people towards the same thing all the time, but double Rupture Cannon is very good. So what we're first going to do is we're going to drop Synaptic Linchpin. So we're going to be at 20 points. I love my balding Screamer. No worries. Warriors should advance and charge. They do advance and charge, and you know. So we have 20 points from that. And then if we drop this, then we have 220 points. What's 220 plus 145? Oh, the Zoanthropes. Oh, you're here. Okay, awesome. So we won't drop the Zoanthropes. Katherine, this is a great list. It really is. And it stinks because like it's giving me a hard time understanding what to replace, you know, because there's not a whole lot that I would do. Have much screening power, and the Zos can move block as well as shoot. Interesting. So you're really running up your Zoanthropes. That's kind of cool. So we do have 20 points. I would think that, so if we do, Are you saying you need more punch? Has reliably uses possibly more action monkeys. So you could definitely drop the synaptic linchpin and the screamer killer, and that would give you 165 points. And you could get 2 units of Raveners that would kind of do both of those things. They punch kind of hard, and they're also pretty good action monkeys. You could do 1 6-man blob, and then you could put perfectly adapted on the Broodlord. And then that would clear that up pretty easily. Need more melee. Sweet. So I would then, I think Raveners are better than the Screamer Killer for sure. And they also do kind of like chaff clearing, kind of like move blocking as well. And if you have 2 squads of them, you can have 1 to go up into Deep Strike and be at the ready to score secondaries, or you can just put them both as a 6-man squad and have them go up, and if anything tries to mess with your Norn emissary, they just go out and blender it. In Invasion Fleet, the amount of damage that Raveners can get up to is pretty disgusting. You could also, instead of the second Ravener squad, and if we dropped perfectly adapted, that would be 90 points. This is boring, but you could also just put a 3rd Gargoyle squad, and I'm sure Chad is going to make fun of me for this. You could put a 3rd Gargoyle squad, no perfectly adapted, and then just have 1 squad of Raveners. And I think that would be a strong option as well. Katherine, I think this is a good list, and if you're liking the Norn, and if you're liking the Zoanthropes, I wouldn't touch them. This list is kind of, in my opinion, I think the Rupture Effects is really, really good. Triple Gargs, yeah. I think the Rupture Effects is really good, and that is kind of some really strong anti-tank that I think this list is missing out on. But if we're leaning on lethals off of the Gene Stealers, and then especially if we throw in a 6-man squad of Raveners, it could be good as well. So really, world is your oyster. Wherever you are thinking that you want to put the last 160-ish points in, it can kind of go multiple different ways. Me personally, I would probably look at the Zoanthropes and the Norn to adjust for the Rupture Effects, and then kind of fill in the rest of there with maybe the Raveners like we were talking about. But either way, I think it's very cool. I love the Norn getting some use, and I think Zoanthropes with the Overwatch, the sustain hits, and possible lethals in the detachment is a very strong option as well. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope your games have been going well. Very cool. Thanks for being a member. All right, moving on. Poncho Sinbad. This is the first non-member of the stream. Updated list. Watching more and more Norns. Maybe they do need more love. You're right. More and more videos. I've gotten great list ideas for the list. First list I sent. Oh yeah, he had sent a list and then responded to it with an updated advanced charge for the Screamer. Absolutely. Johnny Walker. Of course. Thank you, Katherine. I sent and have been loving my updated list that I run on TTS. So I wanted to throw in a list that actually has models that I own / that I think are pretty. Gene Stealers are ugly. See, this is the guy. This is the person we were talking about before that didn't like Gene Stealers, which is fine. Still trying to work up to 2,000 points, and I'm not set on attachment at all. So feel free to change it or anything else. Okay, we have. So we're on Invasion Fleet. Cyan Medic. Hey, I don't know. Everybody has their own opinion, Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant with the Venom Cannon and Adaptive Biology. Narrow Tyrant. Cool. Gargoyles, 20 Termagants. Biovore, Lictor, Tyranid Warriors, Zoanthropes, Excrin, Maleceptor, Norn Emissary, Tyrant effects. I also got a 6-man of Von Ryans and a Neurolictor, but I'm not sure how to best use them. Thanks in advance for the list advice. I was going to make a video on how to use the Neurolictor, or at least my thoughts on how to use them. But then people were really curious about deployment stuff. And so this weekend I did a deployment. Okay, so in my opinion, I just don't think we need the 20 Termagants. I think the 125 points is going to be better used by an additional gargoyle. So I'm going to cut the 20 Termagants. I like 20 Termagants, but I like 20 Termagants if there's 40 other Termagants. You know, if we have 60 Termagants, then that kind of gets to the critical mass where they are going to be very useful. So I'm going to cut the 20 Termagants. We're going to have 120 points. And let's see what other things we're going to cut. For this, no limitations. We're not doing Gene Stealers. Okay, so we're just going to assume that the Tyranid Warriors are going to be putting into that spot. If we have Tyranid Warriors, we are going to have a Winged Prime, though, for sure. And that's 65 points. Winged Prime, 65 points. So 120 minus 65. 120 minus 65 is 55 points left over. Man, I'm getting hungry. Chat, are you getting hungry too? Let me know what you think. And then I'm sorry, folks. I'm going to cut the Norn. I just don't think, if I was like building from ground up, I probably would not start with like going with a Norn straight in. So we are going to cut the Norn. And things that we want is we want a Tyrant effects, and we want 1 or 2 more additional scoring pieces. So 55 plus 260 is 315. Oh, y'all been snacking? Good for you. 315 points. No, not the Norn. Norn. Sorry, folks. 315 points. And we want Rupture Cannon, Tyrant effects. Boop. So this is going to be minus 190. Oh. 125 points left over. That's perfect. That's going to give us a lot of points for possibly screening stuff, possibly scoring stuff. We're going to get a second Lictor for that for sure. No. Second Lictor. Boom. And that's going to put us at 65 points. Man, I love when like lists just like naturally fall in place. And I feel like this list has definitely naturally fallen in place. Did I already, chat, tell me, did I already account points for the second Gargoyle squad? I think I did. But to round out the list, we are doing 10 times Hormagaunts, and that's 65. And that's going to wrap up this list pretty easily. And I'm just going to space this out as I go through it just so that we can see it a little bit better. 6 Norn revenge list. Hey, if you put enough Norns in, I'm just gonna be like, okay, I can't cut the Norns, and this is the list, I guess. Oh. So I think this is the list. So we have Death Leaper, Hive Tyrant, Neuro Tyrant, Winged Prime, 20 Gargoyles, 10 Hormagaunts, Biovore, Lictor, 6 Melee Warriors, 6 Zoanthropes, double Exocrine, a Maliceptor, double Tyrant effects. I think this is good. I think this is great. You have really good mission play. You have really good anti-tank. You have really good anti-infantry. I would be interested in how the Melee Warriors do for you. I know that you don't like Gene Stealers. They're kind of filling the same role as Gene Stealers, but they're a little bit more fragile. So maybe focus on rapid ingressing those Melee Warriors if you can. And then everything else shoots, and then everything else screens. This is pretty cool. I love Tyranids because they do stuff like this really well. Like, that's a really good core of a list, in my opinion. Cool. Hollow. You guys don't know about Hollow. In one of the first Army List review shows, he submitted a list with like 6 Tyrannocytes or something. It's very cool. Let me catch up in chat. All right, folks. Next, 6 Norns. That's why I needed 3. So he did cut 1. There you go. Double Norn, I think, is good. Norn looks awesome, but I don't think I'll ever want more than 1. Possibly. 3 emissaries and 3 assembly. Oh my gosh. 1,300 points. 6 Norns, Swarmy, and a Flyrant. I think 6 Norns and a Flyrant, you could build around that. The -1 attack could be kind of cool. Could be interesting. Who knows? Okay, Hollow submitted originally a list, like one of the first streams we did, where he was like 6 Tyrannicites. It was very cool. No memes today. Got an interesting Assimilation Swarm list for you. Very cool. We haven't had one of these in a while. Or at least all stream, I think. We've got a Broodlord. We've got a Neuro Tyrant. We have a Tervagon. I have not tried this build with the Termagants, but it could be interesting. Let's see what he's got. Biovore, Gene Stealers, Pyrovore, 6 Zoanthropes, double Ripper Swarm, Norn Assimilator, Psychophage. The backup plan, if the Swarm doesn't work, drop Turvamom and Termes and bring Old One-Eye and Swarmy with 2 units of 10 Hormigons. Very cool. Very interesting. The thing that I am worried about, and I'm realizing how late. Whoa, Poncho! Thank you, my goat. Excited to take my list further. I know warriors aren't as good as geniuses, but just pretty maybe one day I'll break its fall. Dude, Poncho, thank you so much. We really appreciate the support. That is incredible, dude. And you know, I'm being honest with you. I'm not just pandering or just saying nice things. If you play Tyranid warriors carefully, they can do the same thing as Gene Stealers. You just have to be, in my opinion, a little bit more careful. Do what I was saying before, like rapid ingressing, you know, and just kind of counterattack with them as you would with Gene Stealers. But definitely run the Winged Prime with them to get the sustained hits. So then you can go sustained hits and lethals. And then Tyranid Warriors can really blitz through anything. But again, thank you. You're incredible, Poncho. Really, really appreciate the support. I'm happy to review the list. It looks exciting. I would want to play it. Okay. So if we keep the Swarm, the only thing that I'm worried about singleton Pyrovores. If I'm running Pyrovores in Assimilation Swarm, I definitely want to run them in 2s or 3s. Oh, you guys are 2 Norns short. I'm sorry. I have 3 Norns. One of them's magnetized. So I think it's tough. Like if we go Swarm, man, you guys are not going to like me. I want to cut the Norn. Because if we're Swarm, we have to have so many pieces to like support this. It's like, I feel like it's like the theme of the chat where like we're supporting like these big units. Like it's either you're supporting a Norn or you're supporting a Harridan or you're supporting Swarm. I'm going to keep going with Swarm on this one just because I personally think it could be interesting. But in my opinion, it's too many points to have the Swarm and a Norn and Assimilator. So yes, I'm cutting the Norn. It's too many points to do Swarm and the Norn. It's cool. It is cool. I agree. I love Norn emissaries. I really do. I'm going to cut the Norn. We're going to build an assimilation list off of this. So we're going to see what, it's 275 points before I forget. I just did. I did cut. Yeah. Oh, and I didn't notice we also have Gene Stealers. That's kind of sick. That's kind of cool. 275 points. Things that I'm also going to cut is the Rippers. Because we have things like Pyrovores, we don't really need Rippers, you know? I promise you that the Pyrovores and the Psychophages are going to do just enough. They will be fine. And we have Double Phage will help maybe add a Tervagon. We already have Tervagon at home. A second Tervagon? Oh man, I'm not sure. We have 315 points. Things that I want, I probably want to upgrade like both of these to triple. But before we do that, we want to have more things to support the Termagants. And I like that we have the 6 Zoanthropes already, but I want to have Venomthropes. 3 times Venomthropes. These guys are really just going to allow for the -1 to hit. It is also going to buff like all the Pyrovores, the Gene Stealers, and the Zoanthropes. Exocrines maybe not really so much, but it's still like the same idea. So this is now 245 left over. So let's see. We could do at least one of these, I think, has to be the 3-man squad. So that's going to be 65 points. And then this is then 180. Do we have any gargoyles? You guys are gonna hate me. Oh man. Well, what we could do is we could split up. I think double Pyrovore is 75 points, right? It's like a weird breaking point. Let's see. Oh, double Pyrovore is 70 points. Okay. So that's only 30 more points. That's 150 left. I do think we actually, you know what would be cool? Like Hormagaunts, 20-man squad of Hormagaunts. Yes, but what about second Tervagon? Oh man, I would love to play this list. Anyways, I'm getting distracted. Another, I think we need to bump this up because I really do like Pyrovores. I personally think that you can't run them effectively. What did I do? Yeah. I don't think you can run them effectively in Assimilation Swarm as just one-ofs. Because yes, they're going to regrow and stuff, but also you want to be able to regenerate models back into the squad. So that's where we really have to be. That's a lot of Pyros. It's only 5. It's only 5, you know. I normally run 6 or 7. Do we have enough assimilation units? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's it. So the answer is no. So I think we have to do one more Psychophage. At least. Boom. 95, and that will be what? 55. 55 left over. And then, so we could do, at this point, I'm kind of interested in just if we bump that up to 105, then it's an awkward. There's an awkward 25. No, there's actual 20. So then we can't, if we had 5 more points in order to get Ripper Swarm, that would be good at that point. I would like the Ripper Swarm. But since we're so far from that, 5 points from that, 55, maybe we drop this down. Okay. I do think we do this. So times 2, and then we get, what is that, 35 points left over, and that's 90 points. It's boring, but one squad of gargoyles I feel like is good. Hey, there's a reason why I recommend them, chat. You know, they are so good. And just having one squad to come into Deep Strike or something. It doesn't really fit like the regrowing and everything, but it is going to help. Okay, what if Parasite? Yeah, hey, you could put the Parasite in too. You could. You absolutely could. Does Parasite have the Harvester keyword? Does it really? I thought it was just I'm actually no, it does not. I should cosplay as a Norn emissary. Hey, that face in the background, that's just Jordan Norn. It's canon. Yeah. It's I wish the parasite was it makes sense that it's Vanguard and not assimilation, but it's still kind of lame, you know? We're parasite stands in this chat. Anyways, it's getting late. So I'm going to go through Mr. Nobody's list. Hey, Jordan. I'm going in an escalation league starting at 750 points. Very cool. I'm not sure on how to start it. Update. I won my first match. Next game will be 1,000 points. Still unsure how I should build them up and go up. I kind of an idea. I posted what I'm thinking of doing league in Discord Wrath26. Lost my second match at 1,000 points. Looking back, I probably should have had my mouse up there. Okay. End goal assimilation swarm. Okay, so he's got Swarmlord and Hive Tyrant. I'm assuming he's going to be doing. Wow. Started my coconut nids back in August, and you've been an amazing help. Question: have you ever considered doing boarding action list? That would be sweet. What is this? Tyrian Baal. I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name, but I really, really appreciate the support. That's incredible. I think boarding actions would be cool. I really like the monsters, and so that's one of the reasons why I've kind of stayed away from boarding action. And all my buddies, we just play like 2,000 point competitive list. But I am hoping that we do some smaller games during the summer. Um, we're thinking about doing like a crusade thing where we have smaller games, and maybe as a part of that crusade, we should and we could learn boarding action rules and do a boarding action game. So that would definitely be very cool. Again, I really appreciate the support, man. Thank you so much for hanging out and chat. And what a great question. I'm glad your coconut nids are doing well. Post pictures in the Discord if you haven't already. But thank you again for the support. It's incredible. All right, let's take a look at this assimilation swarm. So he has Swarmlord, Hive Tyrant with Instinctive Defense. I really like that combo. And then the Neurotyrant with Biophagic Flow. Awesome. Gargoyles at 85 points. 1x6 Tyrant Guard on Hive Tyrant. Okay. 1x2 Pyrovore, 2 Psychophage, 1x2 Ripper Swarm, 2x1 Ripper Swarm, 2 Maleceptor, 2 Harspecs, 1x6 Zoanthropes. My idea was to send 2 groups of big monsters up the sides of the board. The Brain Bug Brick would go into the center, and Anti-Tank and Overwatch Pyrovores would be with the Brain Brick removing cover and providing heals. Okay, sweet. So, in my opinion, if we have 1 Tyrant Guard unit, we don't have 2, then I think we just go with 1 Hive Tyrant, in my opinion. I think the Swarm one's very cool, but if we are budgeting for 12 Tyrant Guard, then we put double Tyrant. Otherwise, I think the 240 points are not being used as efficiently as possible. He's very good, and the detachment is pretty CP heavy. I just think there's other things that we can use in front of it. Swarm Lord. Or no, I can just do 240 points. Points left over. Also, in my opinion, I just went to the wrong screen. Also, in my opinion, I don't really think we need the Ripper Swarms. I think like the Psychophages and the more Pyrovores that we're going to add in are just going to do the same thing as the Rippers. And they don't really add too much, you know? So I'm going to cut these, and that's going to give us 90 more points, apparently. So 330 points. Everything else in the list, I'm not going to lie, I really like. I think it's really, really cool. So 330 points. Let's see. I think we do want another. Oh gosh, what did I just do? We do want another Gargoyle Squad. So that's going to be 85 points. Easier to get friends in with 500 points. Plus, I spent a lot of my terrain, so I want to use it. Hey, I 100,000% agree with you, and I think 500 points is actually really fun. It's a good way to start. I agree with you. You don't think anything over T8 is in the list. Pulling out my calculator. 330 minus 85, 245. Okay, so we're at 245. 245 points. Things that we need is we need a little bit more guns, a little bit more pew pew. You know what I'm saying? Maybe? Do we not? I really like double Maliceptor, double Haruspex. That seems pretty sweet, honestly. I say we just keep going. I think Exocrines could be good. But here we are. 175 points. I'm adding in another Pyrovore squad just because I think they're really good at supporting. They're really good at supporting the Maliceptors as well as the Zoanthropes. If we do, what's 70 points? How are we on like lone ops? Oh, we don't have any lone ops. Oh. Oh, we don't have a Biovore. Oh. Chat, how are you about to let me just not have a Biovore? You have to have a Biovore. I'm sorry. You 100% do. That's 50 points. Oh my gosh. Look what we could do. If we have the Biovore there, we could just do third Haruspex. Imagine, I can't imagine like a better way to have an escalation league for Assimilation Swarm than having 3 Haruspex at the end. 3 Haruspex, 2 Maliceptors, double Psychophage, 4 Pyrovores, entire. That's a lot of beef. That's a lot of beef, folks. You know what? Let's do it. Third Haruspex after the Biovore. Rounding out the list. Rounding out the stream, folks. Rounding out the day. That's the stream, everybody. Zooming out a little bit on this Assimilation Swarm, I think it's pretty fun. I have a Hive Tyrant with Instinctive Defense. We're going to fight first. And we're going to Heroic for free as long as we're chilling next to some feeder guys. Neurotime with Biophagic Flow is a must-have in Assimilation Swarm. 20 Gargoyles, a Biovore, 1x6 Tyrant Guard, 2x2 Pyrovores, 2 Psychophages, double Maliceptor, triple Haruspex, and 6 Zoanthropes. Very, very cool. Thanks, chat. This has been a great time. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you for everybody who's been super chatting and supporting us. Thank you to our patrons, of course, and our Patreon. And thank you for being super cool and submitting Tyranid lists and making this stream exist. I will be playing this Wednesday with my standard competitive invasion fleet list. So hop on in. We are probably going to do jalapenos. We're going to try and find a way to do a hot wings challenge. But if not, it's going to be hot peppers and chocolate milk. Oh, look at all the hearts in stream. Thank you so much. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. I'll see you Wednesday. Bye.